With A Haunting in Venice now out on the big screen, I thought let's go and rank all the movies in this Hercule Poirot series that Kenneth Branagh has created. There's 3 movies now. That's what I'm going to call it because I don't know what else they're going to call it. But I'm going to call it that. It's this murder mystery sort of trilogy. And obviously we have A Murder on Orient Express. We have that one that came out in 2017. We have A Death on the Nile, which came out last year in 2022. And now we have A Haunting in Venice, which came out in 2023. So I'm going to rank them from worst to best, in my opinion. So let me know yours down in the comment section below. What do you guys all think of these movies? Did you love them? Did you hate them? Where would you rank them? Smash it down there. Smash that like button. Click subscribe. And let's get into this ranking right now. Number 3, Death on the Nile. Now, to me, this one is definitely the weaker one of the series. And there's multiple reasons why I think that is. Firstly, it's very predictable. Let's just get that out. Like, that's the big elephant in the room. A Death on the Nile is very predictable to who the killers are. I noticed who the killers were instantly. Like, it's pretty obvious who's going to be the killers. And I think that's just a shame because you can go on this amazing ride with murder mysteries where you're like the whodunits, who did it? And you're on this amazing ride trying to figure out, piecing things together, following the detective, and this one you just knew straight away. Obviously, it's a stacked cast. All of these are stacked cast. There's so many people in here that you would know and recognize. Obviously, Kenneth Branagh reprises his role in this movie as Hercule, as the detective on this mission to discover who did this. Now, some of the other things that do bring this down is some of the, like, Gal Gadot. I'm sorry, she just isn't that good in this movie. She just doesn't, like, yes, she's gorgeous and all that, but, like, her acting is just not up to standard for me. And when you watch it, it's very distracting. Some of the characters on here, you kind of like aren't too invested in. Like, while I am still invested in them in a way, some of the other ones, you're just kind of like, okay, they're just there for being the sake of there. Obviously, the performances are great as well. Emma Mackey is fantastic in here. You know, you've got other people who are fantastic in here. But overall, like, there's some green screen shots as well. Like the pyramids and that, where you kind of like, yeah, that's green screened. Cinematography does look good. I give it that. Like, some of the shots on here are absolutely gorgeous when they're on the river. But it's very much a predictable whodunit. You kind of pick it up straight away, and it kind of takes that excitement and fun away from it. Once you know who the killers are, it's like, well, what's the purpose? I mean, obviously it's satisfying when Hercule is like just absolutely laying it out there. That's all brilliant in that. But I just felt like this was very obvious to who the actual killers were. And it does take its time to get going in that. And once the murder does happen, then you're kind of like on a bit of a thrill, but not quite. So for me, number 3 is A Death on the Nile. Number 2 is A Murder on the Orient Express. This was the original movie that he brought out in this trilogy. And look, I think this is a good murder mystery whodunit. It really is. Obviously, again, an absolute stacked cast. You got Johnny Depp, Kenneth Branagh is back as Hercule in this one. You've got Michelle Pfeiffer in there. You've got Daisy Ridley in there. You've got so many people. Like, these are always stacked cast. And this one to me was a bit more like I didn't quite know who was the murderer. I didn't quite know. I couldn't quite pinpoint it, which is good because then I went on this amazing ride with Hercule trying to figure out who did this murder, who killed this person. I think the performances were absolutely superb in this movie. I think Johnny Depp was outstanding. He really brought it again. Like, he always brings it, man. The guy always brings it. He's fantastic. Kenneth Branagh's introduction as Hercule, I think, is fantastic. And I think he plays this role so well. To be able to direct it and also star in it, it's a talent. And he absolutely delivers on every level. And just the story behind each character, you start to grow to understand these characters and you really get invested in their life. And by doing that, you get invested in this story of who actually did it. And now you're fully invested. You're in it. You're in that moment with Hercule. You think you're Hercule. Come on. Everyone thinks he was. I thought I was. I was like, yeah, I've got this nailed down. I know who it is. This is what happened, blah, blah. And then Hercule lays it all out and you're just kind of like, yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't see that one. The cinematography is great as well. For this to be on the train most of the time, it's absolutely fantastic. And you're following it, and it's brilliant, and it looks good. It does look good, especially that final scene where they're all there on the you know, the railway track. That was a gorgeous looking scene as well, with the whole snow and everything like that. Fantastic. But this one to me, I thought was a great introduction, and it was this. Oh, man, I'm a sucker for murder mysteries. I really am, and I felt like I went on the ride. It delivered what it was supposed to deliver, and it made me invested in this series. Now I want to see more of it. So overall, this one is definitely a worthy one to come in at second. And look, I don't hate any of the movies. So even though Death on the Nile came third, I don't hate that movie. I still think it's an enjoyable watch, even though it's very predictable. But I feel like this one was just elevated better. I don't know why it was. It felt more like a mystery and me trying to figure out rather than a spectacle. So that's why I've got it in at number 2. Number 1 is A Haunting in Venice, the newest one. And what I really like about this film, and that separates it from the other two, is Kenneth Branagh came up with a concept to be able to create a movie that is a murder mystery, whodunit, mixed with a horror movie. And I think he blended those elements brilliantly and gave me, like, didn't overshadow either one. So it wasn't just a murder mystery with overshadowing the horror elements where you don't feel like there's any horror in here at all. And you don't feel like this is a straight out horror with no murder mystery elements. The balancing act that he was able to perform with the tones to be able to create that was fantastic. And that's what I loved about this film. It was unique. It was different from the other two. And this was more of a horror movie feel than The Nun 2. Like, come on, man. Like, The Nun 2 is a straight up horror. And this had those horror elements that were shot fantastically. They didn't rely on jump scares. He actually built the tension up, built you on the edge of your seat, on the thrill, and made you start to believe that supernatural stuff could be involved in here. And I think the way that he was able to shoot those scenes really showcased that element that you're looking for when you want to balance this act. You're like, yes, maybe there is something about it. So it immediately traps you into this story straight away, because now you're trying to figure it out. The misdirect as well in this movie was fantastic. I never saw the killer coming. I didn't pick that. What he does so well is he absolutely frames it that it's this person. The whole entire time you are thinking, yes, it's this person did it, this person did it, while also leaving little clues on the way to who the real killer is. And it's insane, because I didn't pick it. I was like, yes, I've got it straight away. And then, nope, flipped it. Just absolutely 180'd on it to me. And I was just like, yeah, I got that wrong, didn't I? But it's just a fun movie as well. And I think he incorporated that brilliantly. Obviously, another stacked cast. Absolutely stacked. And then the performances are great as well. Cinematography, for this to be in this one location, in this house, I thought was fantastic. Venice looked absolutely beautiful. When he was shooting it on the outside as well, it looked absolutely gorgeous. And it's a really good story as well. And for me, it's my favorite of the trilogy because it feels so unique, because he nailed the blending of the horror and the mystery and whodunit together to create a fun, on the edge of my seat thriller. So that's why I've got it in at number 1. So there you have it. That is my ranking of the Hercule Poirot movies. Let me know down in the comment section below, what did you guys all think of the movies? Where would you rank them? Let me know down there. Smash that like button, click subscribe, and I'll see you guys next video. Until then, stay safe and take care.